In this video, it's going to be slightly different. I'm going to be going through one of my 12 out of 12 markers from GCSE RE. Let's get right into it. I'll basically be analysing my own answer just to tell you what I think got me 12 out of 12. So the question is, it is impossible to believe that humans are made in the image of God. Evaluate this statement. Now, I don't even read the bullet points that they put underneath. I just go straight into it. I just look at the first little quote that they give you and then evaluate it. If you want to see my GCSE RE video where I talk about how to revise for it in general or my tips for it, you should go check out my previous video here. Anyway, this is my answer. Catholics would completely disagree with this statement and say that it clearly states that humans are made in the image and likeness of God in the book of Genesis. So straight away, I've got a point. I said Catholic, so I've got a point of view, and I've embedded a quote in. I've also said where it's from, the book of Genesis. You don't need to say what verse. If you could say what chapter, that would be useful, but you don't have to. Literal Catholics, so I'm going into Catholics and I'm saying which subsection of Catholics it would be. Literal Catholics would even say that as the Bible is the word of God, it cannot be wrong and must be true. Catholics would interpret this as humans having the same qualities of God. God created humans good and gave us his quality of being good too. Alright, so I didn't completely link it back then, but hopefully I do in the next one. On to the next paragraph, I've got a different point of view. Atheists. That's always a really easy opposing view to do. Atheists are just people who do not believe in God. They would always just disagree with Catholics. Some atheists would agree with this statement and say that it is impossible to believe that humans are made in the image of God, as there is no evidence of a God or evidence of what a God looks like. They would say that humans cannot be made in the image of something that does not exist, and would therefore say it is impossible to believe in a God and impossible to look like a God. For atheists, it's very hard to find a quote. If you do have a quote to back it up, do put it in, but it's not the end of the world if you don't have a quote. So now I've got another against point. Christians this time, so before it was Catholics and now it's the overall Christian view. Christians, however, would disagree with atheists and say that humans must be made in the image of God as we have natural law. Natural law is that humans intuitively know to do good and avoid evil. And the only reason that people know how to do good is because we have God's quality of being good. So there I've got quotes again, and I've mentioned natural law. Natural law is like a keyword that they want to see, perhaps in this 12 marker. Now I've got another quote from the UCAT. UCAT 333 states that if people are to do good and avoid evil, certainty about what is good and evil must be inscribed within them. The fact that natural law is inscribed within us is enough evidence to believe that humans are made in the image of God, Genesis 1:27. So I am using the same quotes, but I'm also introducing new quotes that you can use. I think for this question, normally I would link it back to the question, but because the question is quite repetitive, I'm just always talking about the image of God. I am linking in the question without having to write a little sentence at the bottom saying, therefore Christians agree with the statement or disagree with the statement. Now I've got my conclusion. In conclusion, all Christians would completely disagree with this statement, whereas atheists would agree with this statement. All Christians believe that humans have qualities of God, however, these qualities are disrupted by sin. This is why whoever has seen Jesus has seen the Father. Another quote that I've added in the conclusion, because Jesus did not sin and so his qualities are not distorted. They gave me a level 4 marking for that. I guess that puts me up in a higher band, so that's 10 to 12 marks already. And then I put my opinion, so this is another perspective. I believe that it is possible to believe that humans are made in the image of God because there are acts of kindness in the world. We can believe easily that God is omnibenevolent as he created the universe for us. Daily acts of kindness and compliments prove that humans can be good and loving like God. Therefore, it is possible to believe that humans are made in the image of God. Why do I think this is a 12 out of 12 answer? Firstly, I've got embedded quotes. I've got mostly quotes in every paragraph, like one or more quotes in each paragraph. The only paragraph I didn't have quotes for was for atheists, and that's because they disagree and it's really hard to come up with quotes for them because they don't believe in the Bible, so why would I use a Bible quote to back them up? Another reason why I think I did well is because I mentioned keywords like natural law. I also showed 4 different perspectives. I showed the Christian perspective, the overall Christian perspective, the Catholic perspective, and the subsets of Catholics, so literalists, liberalists. I've got atheists, and I've got my own opinion at the end. I'm constantly referring to the question, and I'm mentioning the image of God. And so I don't necessarily need to explicitly link back to the question because I do mention the image of God so many times. That's all you really need for a 12 marker. I think I wrote this in around 12 to 15 to 18 minutes in the real exam. As you can see, this is from my real exam. So that means examiners have actually marked it 12 out of 12. I haven't just given myself 12 out of 12. I really hope you benefited from this video, and I will see you in the next one. See ya!